What's up, Ragin Nation? How y'all doing? This is Alex. You watching the Ragin Ronin review. I got a review for you. Last night I saw This Is the End, and it's a comedy starring those guys. You know which guys I'm talking about. The guys that always star in each other's movies, like Pineapple Express, Superbad, 40-Year-Old Virgin, Knocked Up, Forgetting Sarah Marshall. You know those guys. And it really consists of Seth Rogen, Jay Baruchel, James Franco, Danny McBride, Craig Robinson, and I think that's about it. That's about covers it. But there's also cameos from all the other guys. You know which guys I'm talking about. Michael Cera, Christopher Mintz-Plasse, and Jason Segel. Anyways, this movie is a very silly little film. It originally was titled Jay and Seth versus the Apocalypse, so essentially it's about Jay Rogen and Seth Baruchel, and they have to deal with the apocalypse, really, literally, and that's the end of the world. This is how they deal with the end of the world. So it's an apocalypse movie, and it is a really, really silly film. In fact, when you're watching it, you're probably thinking about when these guys were writing it and coming up with the idea, were these guys high? They definitely were. Because everything that happens in the movie is so ridiculous and so silly, but also kind of creative. It's very creative. This is from the creative minds of some very high individuals. So all it really is them surviving the apocalypse and how they deal with it. But they decided to create a kind of a human story with it, and that is Jay and Seth trying to be friends, you know, how they can keep their friendship and how they deal with each other because they have problems within their friendship, okay? So they keep a human story in there, and they keep on going back and forth between the apocalypse and the friendship story, and the apocalypse and the friendship story, and repeating that cycle. And, you know, I get what they're trying to do, okay? They're trying to create a story that we can relate to, but at the same time providing us with some very, very over-the-top laughs and some very, very crude and vulgar visuals and language, okay? The language in this movie is crazy vulgar, okay? And you know what to expect from these guys, and it's pretty funny. It is pretty funny. It is pretty entertaining. But at one point in the movie, you just feel like, are these guys not going to talk about, like, those kind of jokes ever? Is all their dialogue and comedy all based on this type of crude humor? So eventually, in my opinion, I feel it gets a little bit tired out, and it just feels gimmicky. In fact, I think the whole human relationship, the friendship story, is a little bit gimmicky. But at the end of the day, you still need a story like that, a grounded story to have as your foundation for this over-the-top craziness. And I think the over-the-top craziness is, you know, it works. It works because it's something you don't expect. You don't know what the heck is going on. It goes all over the place. It's not just natural disasters, but all kinds of disasters in biblical proportions. And I mean just that when I mean biblical proportions. So it is really crazy, and these guys really have an unlimited type of creativity when they're writing these movies. Evan Goldberg and Seth Rogen really came up with the idea, and you know, when they come up with the ideas, you know it's going to be very, very funny, but also very, very crude. It's that type of humor, alright? So you know exactly what to expect. Anyways, I enjoyed this movie for what it is. It's entertaining, but I find that the humor gets a bit old eventually. And you feel that you kind of know what to expect from each of these characters. You know how James Franco acts, you know how Jonah Hill acts, you know how Seth Rogen acts, and you know how Jay Baruchel acts, and you definitely know how Danny McBride acts, and of course Craig Robinson. You know how he acts, and these actors are all playing themselves in the movie. And this is really just a movie of these actors just having a good time. That's all it is. You're watching their whole movie. That's exactly what you're watching, because as I'm watching the movie, I just feel like, man, I'm really watching this movie for the sake of these actors. It's a very self-indulgent film, but they decided to make it, and you know why? Because they can, and they know that audiences will pay for it. So that's what this movie is all about. And if you don't have a problem with that and you watch it with an open mind, then you'll enjoy it. I enjoyed it for what it is, but I don't think in any way it's like different or funnier than any of the movies that they've done before. I think that some of the other movies that they've done before are better. Like for example, I think I enjoyed Superbad more because, you know, it's a very, very I guess relatable situation because we've been through that before. But the apocalypse movie, you know, I mean not the apocalypse movie, but this movie, This Is the End. It's just you're watching it just because you want to see some hilarious comedy and some really over the top comedy, and that's exactly why you're going there to watch that movie. It's for being entertained, and I was entertained for the most part. And I'm gonna give this movie a 7 out of 10. I say watch it with you don't need to watch it with an open mind. Just watch it for the sake of watching these guys act like jackasses. That's really all it is. 7 out of 10. That's all I gotta say in this review. Go ahead and check it out. There's some really, really funny moments, and at some point in the movie, you do feel the humor gets a little bit old. But for the most part, it is funny. Anyways, as always, if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe to my YouTube channel, like me on Facebook, The Ragin Nation, and also follow me on Twitter at Ragin Nation. My name is Alex Yu, and thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace. The movie different, okay? It made the movie feel like it's a Superman movie, okay? It makes him feel like it is a Man of Steel movie.